Hi guys, Merry Christmas Eve. I am here to talk some about insurance, healthcare insurance. It is something that anybody that's been through any medical issues at all knows that there's quite a few hurdles with it and can be stressful and complicated, and just there's a lot of different stuff that has to be dealt with. Mainly, I think the most important thing is to be able to find a health insurance plan that works properly for what you specifically need. For me, so everything that I'm gonna say, I'm basing off my own personal experience with my lung transplant and the pulmonary hypertension before that, and just the difficulties that I went through to get the care that I needed. And so, first and foremost is to have insurance, and then finding the plan that works best for you includes finding one that includes the hospitals and the doctors that you go to, and also the medications that you need. So where I always start is at healthcare.gov, and I start there because it has the most insurances listed all in one spot that I can just get an idea of what type of plans are available and what the different deductibles and just the different offerings that they all have. So first I go through and I put in my hospital, and with me it's a little bit tricky because I have my transplant hospital, which is a couple hours away, and then I have my regular hospital that I need, for local stuff. And so the insurance that I get needs to cover both hospitals that I go to, and so that for me limits my selection down to a smaller group of insurances. So then after I do that, then I check for the majority of the drugs that I need access to, that they're listed in the formulary, and that I wouldn't have to get special permission to have access to them. So once I do that, and it may not be every single drug, I'm going to talk a little bit about what happens with that. So once I get that all done and figured out, then what I'm left with as far as choices are most of the hospitals that are insurances that cover my hospitals and most of my meds. So then I start looking, and what we look for specifically, we want something that has a deductible that we would pay at the beginning, and then a zero copay for everything after that. That means that once we hit that deductible, that we don't have to worry about a single thing after that point. And usually our goal is to find something with like maybe a $7,000 or $7,500 deductible. I know that with my medications, I would hit that deductible in my first month. So then everything after that is zero copay, all my pharmacy, all my visits, everything else. So that's specifically what we look for insurance. Some people would rather have a lower deductible and pay something out of pocket for each visit. With us, just because all the transplant stuff can be so serious and so costly, that we just find that I'd rather not worry about any out of pocket. I'd rather know right off the bat what my out of pocket is gonna be, and then that way, if we run into any complications or difficulties or anything, we know that we've already, paid in what we need to pay in. For those who would like that zero copay and you have to take a little bit higher deductible, but you're not sure how you would handle the higher deductible, there's tricks and methods to getting that kind of spread out. So the only thing that you pay the whole deductible on in the beginning is pharmacy stuff, so meds. If you schedule all of your appointments at the beginning of the year, so let's say I need to do wellness check with the transplant clinic, and then I need to do a wellness check with my primary, and then I also need to do my yearly mammogram, and all the different things that the different doctors that you see and everything. If you schedule all of those for the beginning, I also go to a dermatologist because they like to, some of the transplant meds can cause skin cancer. So they do all those checks every year. So then if I were to schedule all my checks at the beginning of the year, like in January, have them scheduled right from the beginning, then the insurance will always pay some of those appointments. And then anything that is left for me to pay for my deductible, I could spread out in payments with the hospital because they're appointments. And so those do not have to all be paid right at the beginning. So if you were looking at a plan that had a higher deductible to get a zero copay, you would want to try to schedule your appointments at the beginning because the insurance will always pay part of those. So then you would be left with the other part, and then you can always choose a payment plan for those. For us, we usually put up and have money ready for that $7,500 deductible. So if I can't schedule everything all at the same time, or it's not a problem, we plan for that for the initial deductible payment. And we've been doing it for so long that we're just used to operating that way. But also, if you do happen to have some drugs or whatever that are high cost, so for me right now, Prevamiss is my problem child drug, and the insurance does not cover it. Last year we had to go before a board of appeals because they went to get a prior auth that was rejected. And then the doctors had to go back and request. I had to tell my story in front of people, and then the board approved the drug. And they supposedly had approved it for my lifetime. They just pick an out there date like 2039. It was approved too. And then when we looked into it to check on it this year, we found out that they are saying that they took away the lifetime approval and that it has to go back before the board. Now, I could opt to switch insurances and look for a different insurance that includes that drug in the formulary. And it's possible that I could find one, but it's also possible that I could switch and then it could say that the drug is in the formulary, but it wouldn't count for me because that specific drug is a kidney transplant drug and it's not listed as a lung transplant drug. So then when the drug is taken out of its normal use, then even if it was included in their formulary, it might not be included for me. So after consulting with my doctors and them knowing what they know about insurance, they suggested that if I'm happy with the insurance that I have, that I should just keep it, and then we'll just go appeal the decision again. And they have all the documentation that shows that I need the drug, so they don't think it will be a problem. So yes, this time of the year is always stressful. And if you're going through some of those stresses with insurance, like I said, number one, start at the healthcare.gov and compare plans that they have. And then if you have other insurances that you've heard of, then go look at their plans and compare them to what you found on healthcare.gov. Figure out what deductible works for you, what co-pays work for you, and which ones include the hospitals and the drugs that you need. And you have to choose yours before January 1st, unless you're in one of the, I think it's over 65 brackets that include their sign-up enrollment periods are different. But for the average people, enrollment begins for the new insurance. You must be signed up by January 1st. So, that is my take on insurance. I hope this helps some people. Obviously, for everybody's own situation, you're going to have to do some of your own research, but at least you have a place to start. Okay, again, Merry Christmas Eve, and hoping everybody has a wonderful Christmas day. We are ready for Christmas here. I have my tree, and we have some outside decorations, and we have the grandkids coming over tomorrow, so we're excited. Have a good Christmas. Bye-bye.